Hello and welcome to Worrell's Real Reviews predictions for this weekend's Academy Awards. Now, let's be honest, all the major categories are pretty much stitched up for all the major nominees. Like, it's pretty certain all the people who, in the BAFTAs, the Golden Globes, all that, have all ended up winning, are probably going to end up winning once more. As a result, I'm also going to include a couple of recommendations for the people that I believe are perhaps a little bit more deserving of a victory than all these individuals who will actually end up victorious. So let's start off with the big one, which is Best Picture. Without a doubt, it will be handed to The Revenant because it was very impressive to look at and it was a very hard process to make it. In my opinion, that isn't enough to make it a deserving victor, just because it isn't that enjoyable to watch. It's very long, very arduous, but hey, as a result, despite the fact it will win, I believe the film that should actually win was a surprise to me more than anyone else, and that was The Big Short. Yes, a film that was written and directed by the same person who made recently Anchorman 2 was actually an intelligent, engrossing, infuriating, fantastic experience to watch, all about the horrors of the recent financial crisis. It was very entertaining, very smart as well, and I think much more deserving of a win. Moving on to the category of Best Director, yet again, without a doubt, it will end up in the hands of Alejandro Gonzalez Iñárritu for his work on The Revenant, which is yet again because it was a very impressive process to make the film, because he was very meticulous in only using particular locations, and it was a long process in the freezing cold of Argentina, America, and Canada. But again, just because the process is very arduous, I believe doesn't necessarily mean that that's the person who should end up victorious. I think the person who should actually win is the person who was the most successful at directing a film that year, and out of all the nominations, it has to be the director of Mad Max: Fury Road, because George Miller was able to make the most entertaining action film of the last 20 years, possibly longer. That's a completely arbitrary number, but it's a phenomenally directed piece of entertainment. It's so engrossing, exciting, terrifying, and it's very largely because of him, because of how he handles the action and the characters and the scenery. It's an absolute joy. I think he should win, but regrettably he won't. Moving on to the actor category, Best Actor. This one I will not argue with. It is his. After all this time, he is going to get his Oscar. Yes, Leonardo DiCaprio has it in the bag, and I think completely deserves it. He is wonderful in The Revenant. Apart from the arduous journey and the artistic sacrifice, blah 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 blah, he's also really good in the film. He's stoic, he's powerful, he's aggressive when he needs to be. He is engrossing. He's probably the only engrossing thing about the film, and he completely deserves. In very similarly into the category of Best Actress, there is no doubt that the person who will end up with the little trophy is the person who deserves to have the little trophy, which is Brie Larson for her heart-wrenching turn in the wonderful Room. She is, she is part of a overall what I think is a fantastic film, very well acted, very well written, but she's truly heartbreaking. She, on her own, had me in openly weeping in the cinema. I'd say about 3 times, which I'm not ashamed to say, because she was wonderful and she completely deserves it. So wonderfully acted. So yet again, no arguments with the person who is going to end up winning that category. I have a little bit more of an argument with the person who's going to win Best Supporting Actor, which is Sylvester Stallone. Now, he's very good in Creed. However, the reason he's going to win, I suspect, is because it's Sylvester Stallone and he's old and the character's old and all the Academy voters are old, and there's that kind of, well, let's just give him one. No, he's very good, but he isn't as deserving as the person who I believe should win, which is Mark Ruffalo in Spotlight. He is the heart and soul of that entire film. He's intense, very emotional, and I was completely captivated by his performance. And in fact, he is the emotional heart of that entire picture. Very interesting, very entertaining character, and should completely win. Moving on to Best Supporting Actress. This one's a little bit closer, having a look at all the book-making odds. There appears to be a tie between Alicia Vikander for her performance in the, I think, very overrated, the Danish Girl, and Kate Winslet for her turn in Steve Jobs. But while they're both very good, I think the person who should win is Rooney Mara for her just superb turn in Carol, which is one of the most romantic films I've watched for quite some time. Beautifully written, so softly acted, and so much of it comes from her. She, as opposed to being heartbreaking, she is completely heartwarming. It's a lovely performance, full of heart and softness, and these soft little looks that just make this character so rounded and so authentic. I think she should win hands down. Regrettably, though, she won't. Moving on to the less controversial categories, I think, of the screenplays. In the best adapted one, I believe, again, it's no contest, and this time completely deserved for the Pig short, as it was able to take this incredibly complicated subject matter of stocks and highbrow economics and make it very interesting, very engaging, and very open to a huge mass audience in a way that never sounded stupid, which is very hard to do, and I think as a result makes it a deserving winner. Very similarly, into the category of original screenplay, it should go to Spotlight, and it is going to end up in the hands of Spotlight. Again, very well written film. That's just the truth of it. That's actually the main reason why it is a success. The acting's very good, but the writing is so crisp. It's so believable and authentic. And again, I have no problems with the fact that it will win come Sunday night. Now, there are lots of other categories I could possibly talk about: special effects, foreign language, feature, documentary, costume, which I believe are all a little bit more open in the air. And I must confess, I am less educated on those particular topics, so I would not want to sound like an idiot and offer an opinion. But there's one more category that I simply have to talk about, because it's in the category of cinematography. It will, again, without doubt, be handed to Emmanuel Lubezki for his admittedly fantastic work for The Revenant. It looks stunning. It's a beautifully shot film. Every single scene looks majestic. And it would be a record set, because then he'd have won the Oscar for 3 years in a row. For this, for last year's, I think, criminally overrated Birdman, and for the year before for his work in Alfonso Cuarón's Gravity, which is, apart from all its other things, which I have written about before, it looks just ridiculous and so good, so he deserves to have won. But this year, there's a crime that's going to happen again, which has happened 12 times before, and is about to happen this weekend for the 13th time. Yet again, the genius that is Roger Deakins will not receive an Oscar for his cinematography. For this year, it's for his brilliant, truly brilliant work in Sicario, which, apart from just being an amazing film, which I believe deserved nominations in Best Actress, Best Director, Best Supporting Actor, the cinematography is almost like its own character. It's so intense and engrossing and interesting, and sort of every shot of the wilderness or the camera being really close up to someone. It's so intentional and meticulously crafted, and it's on its own, it's engrossing. Just as a camera work, just all the visuals are like on the edge of your seat. It deserves to win. He deserves to win for at least something, because in the past he's worked on Skyfall, he's worked on Fargo, The Shawshank Redemption. He should have won by now, and he should win for this, but regrettably he won't. So there we go. There are my Oscar predictions and my Oscar complaints or corrections of all the things that I believe are a lot more deserving than the people who will actually end up victorious on Sunday night. Anyway, it's over to you guys. What do you guys think? You guys, am I right? Am I wrong? More likely wrong. If so, how am I wrong? What, in your opinion, are the films, the actors, the actresses who are much more deserving of Oscar success? Let me know either under here or over on the Facebook, the Twitter, the email, the webpage, all there at Worrell's Real Review. Thank you very, very much for watching, and have a nice Oscars.